Gaffer, what a perfect way to start the season. What did you make of your side's performance today?
Yeah, obviously really pleased with the result. I thought the performance was good. I think before the game we spoke about being brave. I think it took us a while to get into our flow, I've got to be honest with you. But once we started passing it and kind of doing the stuff that we'd worked on the training ground, it became a better game for us, And I think there's been a lot of coaching has gone on between the end of last season and now. We're kind of playing a different formation. We have a certain way of how we defend. We have a certain way of how we attack. And there's a lot of detail has gone into it. And one thing that I wanted to see today was the players be brave and take it out there onto the pitch in, what is a big game against a really good side, let me tell you. And I thought we did it perfectly.
When you compare the sort of football that we were playing at the back end of last season and some of the stuff we saw today, there were massive differences, weren't there? We played some really nice stuff, which is obviously, as you mentioned there, down to the coaching that you've put in pre-season. How impressed were you with sort of the change that you saw in pre-season and how we implemented it today in today's game?
I thought it was executed perfectly. I thought the players were very, very good. I think it took us a little bit of time to get into it and start actually passing the ball properly. But we got there in the end, and obviously it helped when they got a man sent off. The spaces opened out a little bit more, but we'll take that. I think the referee, booked a lot. I think he actually booked three people in the stands as well. He booked everybody, didn't he? So. But yeah, listen, we'll take that, and I'm really pleased.
And to talk about new additions, obviously Will Wright comes in, scores a great goal, but a special mention must also go to Dion Conroy. He hasn't played a minute in pre-season, comes back in, and he was commanding in that defence, wasn't he?
He was outstanding. Both of them were outstanding. Dion, the plan was Dion to do probably around 60, 70 minutes, but because they got a man sent off, we felt that he could probably see it through, which he did. So I'm really delighted that he's got his first 90 minutes under his belt, obviously. But no, he was very good, very commanding. I thought we was defensively really solid today. There's a couple of moments, but I thought we handled Cook really well. He's obviously a dangerous player when he goes in the box. We did a lot of work on marking in the box. Like I say, the players executed the plan perfectly.
Yeah, everybody put in a shift today, and I suppose some players might go more unnoticed than others. One player that I wanted to highlight was Jay Williams. I thought he was absolutely outstanding today. He won so many balls, put in some hard challenges when needed to, especially, as you mentioned there, considering the referee was, dishing out his fair share of yellow cards. He was very sort of composed and brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, we needed a profile of a player similar to that, obviously, that fitted into that position, because he's a good footballer and can pass the ball, but we also want him to drop into a defensive shape, and it was difficult to find the right fit for that. Jay fits it perfectly. I thought he was outstanding today. He's a tough kid, doesn't mind a tackle. He gets into good areas, he marks well in the box, and he, like I say, he can pass the ball as well. Real competitive player. But yeah, no, delighted with Jay today.
Yeah, you could say that we perhaps should have won by more than just the one goal today. Obviously, we had a fair few chances, especially towards the end of the game. Eventually, it didn't matter, but is that just a case of sort of getting back to it? It's a first game for everyone, isn't it? Not just Bradford, us as well. And, it's going to take time for these new players to adapt.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of chances. I think Darcy rattled the crossbar just before half-time, didn't he? And on another day, that goes in. He saw Lola's go through on a number of occasions. Could have done better on the final part of that. But, he's come out of non-league and he's very bright. And he'll get up to speed with things, definitely, and we'll have a proper player there. But yeah, we could have scored more goals, definitely. But listen, we'll take 1-0 on the first day.
Yeah, we touched on it before the game, how much of an impact the fans can have. They were excellent again today, obviously. You were back over there at full time. How much does it mean to you to sort of give them a win on opening day? Yeah,
I enjoyed them today. I come out the tunnel just before the game and went over and clapped the fans, and there was a smoke bomb on the pitch, and it was like proper atmosphere at the start, and they were excellent all the way through the game as far as I'm concerned. They're brilliant. We've got a real connection with them, and long may that continue.
Will, thank you for joining us. Firstly, welcome to Crawley. Secondly, how about that for a first day? Your first goal, man of the match, and 3 points. How pleased are you after that?
Yeah, I can't really ask for much more. Obviously, main thing for us is the result. Bonus for me, obviously getting a clean sheet as well, and then like you said, yeah, off the mark early with a nice goal, and try and make that sort of a trademark thing, I suppose, throughout the season, and yeah, we're off to a flyer.
Yeah, and we often say it takes some players, a few games to sort of get settled. You looked really settled in that back line today, and obviously come up with a goal as well. You know, how much did you enjoy playing with that team for the first time? Because obviously you weren't really able to get any minutes in pre-season, were you, for us?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I've enjoyed the whole week, to be honest. I think the style suits me a lot more to maybe that where I was at last season. And yeah, I think once we sort of grew in confidence, we realised we can break lines. In the first half, we started passing it a little bit more, and obviously once it went down to 10 men, it's a little bit easier to find players, I suppose, on the pitch. And I think we saw out the game so comfortably in the end. They didn't really have a shot on goal that was going to hurt us, I don't think. So yeah, I think we saw it out very well.
Yeah, and I mentioned there that you looked comfortable in that back line. Obviously, you said the sort of style suits you in that sense that, you know, you like to move the ball around and everything. And I suppose you're next to the perfect player in Dion, and then obviously the other side you've got Harry as well, and who's, you know, just a pretty solid rock in defence. How perfect do you think this defence is for your style and, you know, what Scott wants to achieve this season as well?
Yeah, I definitely think it helps. Dion's so comfortable both ways. He'll stay on the ball, he'll draw players in, and normally that means me or H will be out on the other side. So yeah, I mean, it's been a good start. Perfect might be a bit of a strong word, but we'll see how we progress during the season.
Yeah, and obviously we've had quite a lot of noise around the club, but that's the perfect way to start, isn't it? Especially as a new player. Sort of, what do you think we can achieve this season with the squad you've got in the limited time that you've had here already?
Yeah, I mean, as a group, we'll ignore the noise from the outside. I spoke to the gaffer before I signed, and he said we're going to have a way of playing, and we're going to surprise a few teams this season. And I mean, that'll be probably the shock result of the day, I'd imagine. And especially even the way we played, you know. So hopefully during the season, once we start learning each other's roles, and we'll get even better at it, and we'll start passing teams to death, and hopefully we'll have a good season and finish as high as we can.
Yeah, and we've got a busy run, haven't we? Especially next week. There's a lot of travelling involved as well. Is that a good thing, do you think, at this stage of the season? I mean, everybody looked very fit. The gaffer was talking about how Dion maybe had planned to get 60 and ended up playing 90. Everybody looked very fit out there. So do you think more games might benefit us at the start to, you know, just keep this good run going?
Yeah, I mean, someone like Dion, I don't know if you'd expect to see him on Tuesday after he's not played much his pre-season, and probably the red card was music to his ears once that happened. You know, he could sit in the middle and sort of just dictate play and not move as much, I suppose. So he ended up getting through it. But yeah, I think because we're a new group as well, you could be right. Get games coming thick and fast to sort of bed ourselves in. It may help us, and I mean it's a hell of a start as well. Looking at the teams that you got, I know the league's really strong this year, but you've got a lot of the teams that will fancy themselves being right at the top of the league early on, first 6-7 games. So I mean we've laid down a marker today, and it's just can we carry that on now and see where it takes us.